What's up, welcome back. I'm John Stark, MacMovieGuy.com. If you're a blind film critic, and we're going to react to the Screen Actors Guild nominations. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, react. Okay, we did that together. What a shared experience we have together. I love you guys. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. Anyway, so the Screen Actors Guild nominees were for ensemble. I'm not doing TV, by the way. If you came here, I don't. When we start recognizing supporting cat, it's weird. I know they're like dividing the categories, so kudos, and we don't divide genres in films, so there technically are more TV nominees. But it's so weird to see Ike Barinholtz competing against lead actors. Anyway, um, so ensemble. One Battle, which led with 7 nominations. Sinners, which actually tied with the most nominations with 5, and then ended up getting beaten by One Battle, which has 7. So it's like Sinners, they were like, oh, Sinners ties with the most of 5. And then One Battle was like, hold my beer. So uh, those 2 films are in. And we also got Marty Supreme, Hamnet, and Frankenstein. Not really anything got snubbed here. Even the international films, which apparently Screen Actors Guild has an aversion to anything non-English language, even for movies in which they have their own people, like Sentimental Value and Secret Agent, where they're definitely members of the Screen Actors Guild in them. They're like, no, no. All right. um, so yeah. I would predict, I'm gonna say Sinners here because it is an ensemble award, not a Best Picture award. And I think when they look at that ensemble of Sinners, they couldn't recognize everybody. They tried. They got 3 cast members in here, but they did kind of nominate everyone who's in One Battle except Regina Hall. So they kind of did already do what the ensemble trophy will do for that film, basically, if we're being honest. Real talk. So, um, but there were some sinners that they couldn't fit in there. So, sinners. Uh, actor. Timmy, Leo, duh. Those 2 are going to be fighting for the win. Along for the ride, we got Michael B. Jordan. We've got Ethan Hawke. And surprise, Jesse Plemons got in for Begonia. I've been predicting Dwayne Johnson for The Smashing Machine in lead actor still, because I was expecting him to get SAG, and I was encouraged. Like I know he hasn't been sweeping, and everybody's like, Smashing Machine is done. But then at the Golden Globes, he got lead actor and supporting actress for Emily Blunt. And then it is in the shortlist for makeup, so it can have the mathematical equivalent of being the actor slash makeup. So I'm not sliding him below 6. I still have him above like Joel Edgerton. Um, and honestly above Jesse Plemons. But I have Jesse Plemons down like 7th, like right below him. But they're nominating Wagner at the Oscars. There's too many international people, and that the whole film is his. So, but it does make me think that Michael B. Jordan is no longer in 6th. So I'm basically swapping Michael B. Jordan, putting him in the top 5, because Sinners is happening. It just is. I need to accept that, and I think Michael B. Jordan's finally going to get the nomination for it. So kudos. I'm excited. I mean, he deserved it a long time ago for Creed, and he didn't get it. So, actress Rose, Jessie, duh. And then below that, it was Chase Infinity, Kate Hudson, and Emma Stone. Kate Hudson being the what of the night. They didn't nominate Renata Reinsva, which is probably the biggest snub. Also, no nomination for obviously Jennifer Lawrence, Amanda Seyfried, Tessa Thompson, Sydney Sweeney, anybody else who's still looking to get in this race. I think, it's between Jesse and Rose. I'm going to give the edge to Jesse here. for this race. I just think her film is broadly accessible to the entirety of Screen Actors Guild. Um, just like I think it's possible Leo, with the power of one battle, this may be the one thing he wins this year. I think Timmy's going to end up taking the Oscar, but I think Leo, well, I think Timmy's biggest competition at the Oscars is Wagner Moura, but that's a whole different story. I think Wagner is going to win the Globe for his category, and it'll be a little bit more evident that he's a contender for the Oscar. Anyway, uh, so those are those categories. For actress, Kate Hudson, I think, is in fifth place here. Does that mean Emma Stone's in fourth? Renata's definitely getting the nomination. The question is there anybody else? Can Amanda Seyfried's, Fox Searchlight is basically living on a prayer with her. They're not getting nominated anywhere else. They don't have any shortlists. I can't see Is This Thing On, Rental Family, or Testament of Anne Lee getting an Oscar nomination anywhere but actress. I mean, maybe an errant costume design for Testament of Anne Lee, or production design, but it doesn't seem like a strong contender, really. Um, so yeah, I think they're putting all their chips in on Amanda. The fact that she didn't get nominated here is, I guess, troubling, but especially over Kate Hudson. Kudos to Focus Features for getting 2 spots in this little group here. Yeah, Jesse wins, and my prediction would shift to include Chase Infinity, I guess, in the actress race, along with Renata. And then I guess I'm hesitant to include Emma, because at the Oscars, I think she's won twice. How are we rushing to give her a third Oscar? How many people are really banging down the door to nominate her? But I also don't think Kate Hudson's happening. So if Renata comes back, who else comes back with her? That's a good question. But so I feel like somebody's gonna have a resurgence and get back into this race and take that fifth place spot. And it could be some like random surprise like Tessa Thompson for Hedda, that, turns heads. I feel like that this is the category in which to turn heads, which is why Kate Hudson did it today with Song Song Blue. It's because it has the highest potential. Because most people are just focused on Jesse and Rose. So we'll see. But anyway, supporting actor, they snub Stellan. Snubs are tough because like a lot of people are gonna like list 1,000 other snubs. Adam Sandler's kind of a snub, but he was kind of also in fifth place with Jacob Elordi, and they just didn't go with him. Instead, they dropped Stellan and Adam, and they picked up Miles Caden for Sinners, along with Benicio, Sean, and Paul. 2-1 battles and a Hamnet. Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein, Miles Caden from Sinners. I think Miles Caden is a problem, mainly because Delroy Lindo, I love him and he's overdue. Not because I really hate Miles as a person, but this is one of those cases where it's like, the younger actor needs to step aside. This isn't one of those cases where, the older actor is there and they're revered such that they've been nominated so many times before, and the younger actor still has time left. It's like, no, for some reason this is one of those cases where the younger actor is getting all the attention and we're still ignoring yet again Delroy Lindo, um, for the umpteenth time in his career. We're just being like, that guy, fuck that guy. I would have been far more inspired by this category if it had been Delroy making this list. I would have felt far more better about his chances at the Oscars. But for everybody who asks me why I think Delroy Lindo isn't going to get nominated, I always point to the vote splitting and the fact that Miles got the nomination here and Delroy did not. Answers that question. So who's going to get the Oscar nomination? Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Paul Mescal, Stellan Skarsgård. He's not getting nominated. There's no way. And I would put Jacob Elordi in over Adam Sandler at this point. I think that was a brutal blow for Adam, to not get in for Jay Kelly. If there's one film that should have appealed the most to the Screen Actors Guild, it was Jay Kelly. And the fact that neither George nor Adam got in here does not bode well for that film, which was looking at probably really only being an acting nominee, realistically at the Oscars. I don't know how it's going to resurge if actors didn't respond to it. So that's the one branch that was supposed to respond to it. um, Supporting actress, Amy Madigan, Tiana Taylor. Again, expected nominations. Ariana Grande, the only thing here from Wicked this year. And then they added Odessa Zion and Naomi Mashaka because they, again, don't know what a sentimental value is. So, how does this change my predictions? Who do I think's winning? Uh, for the race, I think it's going to end up being Sinners and Ensemble, but One Battle is going to win a lot of individual nominations. So it'll be like Leo. I think it's gonna be like Leo, Jesse, Benicio, and Tiana. I think that's the winning four. I think we don't have sweepers this season in a lot of our categories, or any category really. I think, and that we're gonna see that here. Timmy's gonna lose one to Leo. He'll win. I think he's set to win the Oscar unless Wagner surges, which he might. I still think Wagner not. I don't think the lack of a SAG nomination for Wagner changes how I feel about his chances of winning, considering the increased amount of international members in that branch. The fact that he has acted before, he's not brand new, all that kind of stuff. I think he's going to win Golden Globe drama while Timmy wins Golden Globe comedy. So yeah, and then I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, statistically saying the last person who won the Oscar without getting a SAG nomination was in 1874 with Bobo Macabre in the film that I don't whatever the fuck. So the members are changing, man. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, stunts, I guess I'll mention it because it is a film category. One Battle in Sinners made it in because people, they just kept checking the box. I don't know. F1, Mission Impossible, and Avatar. Yeah, for supporting actress, one of the sentimental value actresses is getting in, at least, I think. So if I had to kick somebody to the curb here, it's possible. It's possible Nomi's in the race. It's possible she could have snuck in here and gotten a spot in the race, and that Sinners is surging enough to get her in. I think Odessa's problem is Gwyneth. See, the thing about those two actresses is they surged into the race and hadn't really been picking up because Sentimental Value's been doing a good job. And if Sentimental Value only got one nomination, and let's say it snubbed one of the actresses and one of these two got in, I would say it's Nomi, because I don't think Haley Steinfeld has gotten much traction this season at all. At least with Marty Supreme, you still see Gwyneth Paltrow like being mentioned, but people aren't really putting up much of a fight for Haley Steinfeld. It's not the same thing in supporting actor where it is with like Miles and Delroy, sort of both being campaigned and also both being outside of the predicted top five, which does not help them. When you're not front running, it seems to be working for One Battle and supporting actor. Everybody just keeps checking those two boxes. Doesn't seem to be working if you're outside, So, yeah, I would drop Odessa and then put in Elle or Lilius. I would say Lilius if she wins supporting actress of the Golden Globe. Otherwise, I would say Elle Fanning because she's more recognizable and almost got in last year, I think, with A Complete Unknown, and has been doing consistent work. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.